answered it. Tony Cerrone, what time, ? Will this episode come out?
Tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow afternoon at some point. Max Bowman, what line do you think is when you are on the trail? I don't know if we said this in the first episode, but...
Do you love the fact that we answered
I
what
know.
time the podcast is going to release on our podcast?
Yeah. Right now. It's getting released right now. You're
listening to it.
It got released like an hour ago. If you're
Yeah, just
And we're live. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I'm so
funny.
dumb. Chad's really funny. Anyways.
okay.
Okay, welcome back to 2024's Cash Me Outside. Caden, Christian, Chad, excited to be here, and the treasure is still out there.
Thank heavens. There was a couple of years ago that it lasted 10 days, and I'm always worried, like, in back of my head that it's like, especially like the first major weekend after like a hint, I'm like, it's going to be found, but...
I know. I was pretty busy this week, and then when the hint dropped, I was like, oh no, I can't go out. I can't really focus on this, but
I feel like
here we are, Monday morning.
I feel like there's a
Monday night.
I feel like there's a unspoken pact between us three that we are not going to look in the first like 3 weeks. Because
Yeah.
when
Someone,
true.
that was one of the questions we received on Instagram by someone was like, how much treasure hunting have you guys actually done this year? Like, I don't know if you said it in that sarcastic tone. It kind of felt like it.
I don't think so. It was like, have you guys gone?
We've been burned too many times. Sunburned.
We've
burned.
said this before, haven't we? Like, hey, yeah, we usually just don't go out the first few weeks just because.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a lot. I mean, you
needs to
could go
happen.
out. You could go to any trail and look right now.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do. They're just like, yeah, it's just a good excuse to get out.
Which I
Which
get,
I'm like,
and that's
yeah,
the
great.
real treasure. But it's also...
If I'm going to go outside, it's going to be to golf.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm kind of an indoorsy type guy.
Yeah.
Just joking. I actually love hiking. I thought it was fun. We've gone the last poem hunts.
We
we've
have gone a
on
lot. Last year we went a lot.
2 or 3 hikes the last couple poems.
We go when we feel very strongly about something.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I'd recommend. Unless, obviously, you do this for the hiking, do it for the fun. But it's super hot out there right now. And I think we should also mention there's been a couple people that have been, like, had medical emergencies, dehydration. We really do need to, like, just take the advice of John and Dave. Like, let's not take it too far, too intense, bring lots of water, go early in the morning, and all of that stuff to be safe.
Yeah, but if you see us out on the trail, follow us because we're feeling pretty good about where we're going.
Yeah, we don't go out just for kicks and giggles. The giggles always ensue. Also, we got some feedback from people. We love constructive feedback and criticism. We got some feedback that perhaps we are a little bit too Mormon on our podcast. So we're sorry. We'll be less Mormon. And I'm gonna say the F word right now. Just joking. I don't know. We want to be inclusive of everyone. Sometimes we're going to share stories and things from our background that may reference stuff about our LDS background, but we'll try not to be exclusive from anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we love this. We love the community. We love the engagement. So keep the feedback coming. Keep the comments. We've got some fun questions and some comments that we've gotten the past week or so that we'll share and we'll get into. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been just fun engaging with you guys and hearing your solves. And
I do want to mention we did have an interview this week from a newspaper.
Christian had an interview. Christian just commandeered the interview request.
They said I need to interview someone right away. I was the one on Instagram, so I said sure, I'll jump on a call. So I jumped on a call with Peyton from. I hope that's her name.
Shout out to Peyton, Daily Universe.
Yeah, the Daily Universe, which is the newspaper for BYU. And it was great, but I intentionally gave them the wrong name for Chad, which I thought was hilarious. I texted Caden. I was like, dude, I gave him the wrong name for Chad. I called him Brad Zollinger.
Did you choose Brad because it's my alter ego?
I did not know you had an alter ego.
You have an alter ego?
Well, I was trying to reuse a promo code that I'd already used on a Stitch Fix order, and so I put my name as Brad Bollinger, and they emailed back, and they were like, "Hello, Chad."
They caught you from that?
Yeah, they still gave me the discount.
Yeah,
though.
no, I didn't know
That
about
is
your
so funny.
your alter
Yeah.
Stitch Fix ego.
Tommy calls me Brad because of that.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it is when they published the article, which was great, Peyton, thank you so much again. I guess I gave him the wrong name for Caden as well. So it said, like, my thing was like, I couldn't do this without my other co-host, Caden Photon and Brad Zollinger.
So I thought Christian had sent the exact same text to Chad saying that he gave them a fake name for me too. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But no, thank you, Peyton, for the article.
Just to level things out, could we reach out to her and tell her that she got your last name wrong?
Sure, that's fine.
Christian Bones.
She listens to this podcast, so
Dude,
this
Christian
might be a
Bones.
lost.
Does
Christian
she really?
Bone.
I think
Well,
she said she listened to the first episode.
She listened to it in order to write the article.
Yeah, I don't
She
think
wasn't
she
a
cares.
listener before.
Well, she's probably a loyal listener
Hopefully
now.
she liked it. Yeah.
She's like, I like this Photon guy.
But Christian
Good
Bones is a
points.
photon.
She has an uncle with alopecia, and so she really wants to support.
First of all, Photon's a pretty bomb last name.
That is pretty
honestly.
cool.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, so in our last episode, we spent our time talking about the first 4 lines of the poem. And today we want to talk about the remainder of the poem and some of the thoughts and ideas we've had. We also have I've had a couple additional ideas about those first 4 lines I do want to talk about. But what are you guys' thoughts? We should talk through those and then maybe go through some of the questions we've gotten from other listeners on Instagram.
So go through your updates on the first 4 lines and then go through the second 4 lines and then the questions.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
works great.
So I'll throw some ideas out here, and I just want to get your feedback. You guys tell me if you like one of them or like none of them, okay? So for the first thing I want to say is the shortcut where the choir sings. So one thought that I had, and I've actually seen other people have this additional thought on Reddit, is trying to think like the abstract, things that are not on the nose, right? So where the choir sings being possibly being the chorus of a song. And the structure of songs, really any pop song or popular song right now, is it goes verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, done, right? So the bridge is the link between the 2 choruses, and it's kind of the short interlude between those 2 choruses, and the choir sings during the chorus. So my thought is a bridge potentially for this line. I also really like that because that's like something physical, landmarky, that could be a shortcut in itself because it leads over water, and something that could be a visual cue on the trail.
I like that. Do you have any specific bridges or just?
I looked at a lot of bridges. I got really excited about a bridge before the boundary came out and called the San Rafael Bridge.
That was so far away.
I know,
That was so
but
far away. I saw it and I was like, the boundary hadn't come out. I was like, I mean, it's cool, but that is even if it's there, I'm not going.
it wasn't super far away. It was like Manti. I mean, so it was outside the boundary maps of where they've been. But I thought maybe. What's in Emory, which is like pretty close to that. But there's petroglyphs right next to this bridge, which had things that looked a ton like lobsters, and literally a fork above these lobster type things. There was a little thing of someone is showing like this really long tongue, and even like the caption of it was like some creature with a long tongue, and it was going down to this round ball this creature was holding in his hand, which could have been for how to smell ice cream.
It was a spiral that he was holding. Right?
Yeah.
It looked like an ice cream.
I know.
So I did like a lot of that song,
But
it was
yeah, it was
just a
outside
little
there.
far out there.
Anyways, there's an Archuleta Bridge, which is named after
David.
It's not named after Davy.
Davey.
David.
That's what I call him. Yeah, he's always like, Christian, call me Davy. It's like, David's my dad. Call me Davy. And I'm like, shut up, David. Go back to church. That's such a joke. I want everyone to know that is 100% a joke.
Are you gonna keep that?
I don't know. We'll see. It's named after. He immigrated from Mexico. He was a great civil rights leader in Salt Lake, and he died a couple of years ago. I'm forgetting his last name, but it's called the Archuleta Bridge. It's right next to the Jordan River. It's not really. There's a trailhead there, but it's a very metropolitan area. So
Urban Hunt.
Yeah, urban hunt. Okay, it's true. Come on.
That's funny. Bridge. I think I like the bridge. There's not many bridges on trails.
What?
Where else would they be?
I think every
It's
single
literally a
trail might have a bridge. I think
Okay, I guess what I'm thinking.
I think every I would make a bet that every trail in Utah has at least one bridge.
A bridge is literally for like a stream or a river.
I think
and it's how you get across
Yeah,
it.
okay.
It's
I'm
like
thinking like land. I'm just thinking landmarky bridges because you
That's
said
fair.
you said big landmark. So yes,
think
there
there are
are
a few-
little bridges and logs that cross rivers and stuff.
And those
but-
are like they don't have those on trail. Like I can't see that. It's
Right.
those usually don't have names.
right,
And so that might be one you have to be on the trail to see, which would be really hard.
Yeah.
right.
I think the I like the bridge as a musical solve because I feel like there are a few other places that have musical connotations. Like, what was the Goonies scene where he plays the piano to, like, aren't they shouting out letters
B flat.
for him to play?
Oh.
Right? They're saying B flat and then D, or are they not? Isn't that what happens?
I'm not having recall of this, but if it is, I want to look into it.
They're playing the piano, and he doesn't know which ones, and I feel like they're shouting out the notes or
Interesting.
something like that.
I want to look
I don't
into
know.
that.
We should look up that scene after this. I
Anyways.
don't know.
And if it's a good idea, we'll cut this so we can get deleted.
Oh, okay.
I'm just joking. Okay. I mean, the Hastings cutoff is probably my favorite idea for this.
For shortcut?
For the shortcut. This was a kind of a shortcut to California back in the day that was discovered by some guy with the last name is Hastings. And he it was actually what was used by the Donner Party. And it goes through Utah. It becomes like the Donner Trail. And it's very much a shortcut that's named after someone, Hastings. So
Yeah. So what did you just Google shortcut Utah history or something?
yeah, I just did a lot of like research with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that's really all I have right now for the shortcut and the bridge and that section.
Yeah, I like that. I like the bridge. I think it could be a smaller type bridge.
Yeah,
If once you're on the trail, you see it.
totally. Oh, one other thing I want to say is like even like when a choir sings in a church, not a Mormon church, but just any generic church. So like actually specifically in like Catholic cathedrals, that where the choir sings is called the chancel. And to cross from where the people are sitting in the nave to the chancel, you have to go across something called the transept. So I was wondering if like, hey, the choir sings in the chancel. To get there, you have to go across the transept, which is in itself kind of like a shortcut transept, like the Latin derivative of it. It's like to go across something or to connect something. So I kind of thought that might be something. I haven't had any luck finding like transept trails or anything like that, but an idea.
It's interesting. I do like that. I saw your little screenshot of like the blueprint of a Catholic cathedral with
Yeah.
all those. I think that's cool.
Something down in Spanish Fork, there's like a trail called the Escalante Cross, which, if people aren't aware,
Spanish Fork.
cathedrals are in the shape of a cross. So something
Yeah.
to think about.
Okay, that's something. That's cool.
All right. So turn around and follow the shadow. So one thing I wanted to talk about this, because in our last episode we talked about following the shadow being like the actual movement of a shadow throughout the day. And we were talking about like, oh, well, it's arbitrary about what type of day you could be searching for it. So whether it moves south, like east or west would be depending on when you're searching. But I think it's really important to note that in this poem it says when you look at the sunrise again. So it's already inferring that it's in the morning when you're hiking, which if that's the case, to turn and follow your shadow would mean that you are turning west.
Right.
And I actually, like almost more than anything in the poem, I like that.
I like that too because it's specific enough, but also very vague because like you have to be at a certain place for that to make sense.
Mm-hmm. Now, other interpretations maybe for shadow could be just generally like stay in the shade or follow the shady path, which could be shady in the morning, once again, because it's the sunrise, or it's just the general trail that has more shadows because it has more trees.
I think it is, of all the things I've heard with shade and shadows, most likely just shade.
Probably. We're probably
like
overrating
it's
it.
just shade sitting there, follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing is like on a map, there's shaded areas on a map. So like shade indicates like a change in elevation or things like that, or even like a change in the type of land from like normal land to BLM land. And
Someone was saying that we can use BLM land.
we can. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would have to check. What's the translation on that? Like a shaded area.
Bureau of Land Management.
What?
It would have been better if you said it like clearly without.
Okay.
What-
So
no, but
let's
what's the-
re-record
what's-
this.
What's the translation of like shaded area on a map? I don't think it's the same word. Because in English we use shaded and shade, right? You know what I mean? So I don't know that would translate
In Spanish.
in Spanish.
See, that's really good to know. That's a really good point.
I could be wrong. I
The
don't.
part on a map.
Yeah, like if it's shaded darker or something, you don't say it's más sombrado, do you?
I think so.
Really? Maybe you do. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in.
Well, as I didn't talk a whole lot about topography when I was there. So
So we'll look into that, or if anyone knows how to talk about shaded areas on a map, hit us up in Spanish.
So the next line is getting to actually where we received a clue this week, which was the donde with the lowercase d, or it's where do you learn to smell ice cream? So I don't really quite understand this. I've seen some people explain like the significance of the lowercase d like grammatically and how that actually means maybe that it's a part of the earlier phrase. So instead of saying where do you learn to smell ice cream, it's turn around and follow the shadow where you learned to smell ice cream. Like the shadow is tied to where you learned to smell ice cream.
Yeah, I mean this one has me perplexed.
But if that's the case, I understand why does it have question marks around it?
yeah, the question marks being around it, I don't know. I don't like the idea that the lowercase d means that it's attached to the previous sentence. So it's all one sentence. Do you know what I mean? I like the idea that like the lowercase d is significant in that it looks like a what is it called? D minor in.
Well, yeah,
I like that way more than I like it changing the structure of the sentences.
I think so too.
Because it doesn't really. I mean, it still doesn't really work.
It doesn't because it has question marks around it.
Yeah,
So
it still has a question mark.
Well, yeah, but
if it's a part of the previous sentence, it's no longer a question. It says, "Follow the shade where the how does it go?"
Yeah, turn around and follow the shadow. Where did you
learn to smell ice cream?
Where you
smell the
learned
ice cream?
to smell ice cream, basically. So that's no longer a question. The question marks don't need to exist. I don't know. I feel like it's more significant of something else rather than changing that sentence. Because I saw that on Reddit. That's where we got this, right?
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't really quite understand that. If there's people who are have more linguistic background in Spanish than we do that could help us understand that.
I mean, the questions are there. The question marks are there, regardless of the capital D. It's there because it's a question, and so I think it has to be separated from the line above it, even though.
Yeah, it's just different punctuation.
Because the punctuation in Spanish, you put the question mark at the beginning because it could mean. Because in English you switch I don't know the names of the like
Noun.
the words.
Verb.
Yeah, but like the preposition or whatever. But it's like, where do you learn or where you do learn, right? Like that switches. But in Spanish, the words stay in the same place. So when you start reading a sentence, the only clue you have that it's a question before you get to the end is the question mark at the beginning.
That's why.
Whereas in English, the verb is before.
Got
and
it.
so that's how you know it's a question,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So I think it's a
So
separate.
that
The record's got a scratch.
But the fact that the point that you just made
Yeah.
means that it cannot be connected to the
Right.
previous sentence.
Right.
So we kind of went a roundabout way to say it isn't
Yeah. We just
significant of.
We just
connecting
gave
it
the turn. We just turned around and looked at the shadow.
That's funny.
No, but yeah. So I think I don't know.
So let's unpack this line a little bit. Besides
But
the
it was
lowercase
intentional
d.
that the D was lowercase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were very clear about that. So where do you learn to smell ice cream? It is a quote from Goonies, which of course has been referenced a lot of times in the clues and where they talk about that. That line is in Goonies. It takes place in the Lighthouse Lounge. So that could be significant. There is actually a Lighthouse Lounge up in Ogden in the middle of the city.
What is it? Is it like a restaurant or
I
like
think so.
a club?
I saw it on a map.
Is it a lighthouse?
It's a
Christian said something dumb here.
Oh, that's why I've never heard of it.
Okay, so we're gonna cut that. But so there's it could be that, or it could be like something that is lighthouse like in shape. That might be around this place because you need to know that reference. I mean, in the last clue, it was the lone pine tree. Had to be some reference to.
That's true.
I forget the line, but it was something with Back to the Future. What was actually. It was the
lone
DeLorean without wings, or DeLorean.
Oh, it was the airplane without wings?
Airplane without wings,
Yeah.
was the DeLorean, but that was said by a guy who owned the Lone Pine Tree Mall. You know, it was like
Right.
there were several steps there. So the Lighthouse Lounge could be something that's something that is both couch and lighthouse shaped. I don't know. I have no idea. So something also with smelling ice cream, you can't smell ice cream. Like the way it's frozen, like removes all smell. So the only way you can smell ice cream is like through your or learned that smell is through tasting it through your taste buds. So that's why something tongue related is something that we can maybe infer or look at as well.
So
That's
two options that I've heard, and I kind of like at this juncture both, and I'm wondering which is better. That you can't smell ice cream, so it means tongue, and then 2, it's literally just a direct quote from Goonies.
Yeah.
Which of those two?
I mean, probably
Direct quote from Goonies.
direct
right?
quote from Goonies, just because their
That's
propensity for.
that's my money's on that.
Let's just between us. I mean, whoever else wants to, no more tongue.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, dude, we're trying to make this less Mormon. Okay. More
That
tongue.
does. Let's what? I feel like the opposite.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Exhibit A and B. I don't know.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay, no more tongue
probably just-
talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's stop the tongue talk. But if it was going to be like something tongue shaped, like a structure or something, I don't know. That's what you can look at.
I would
Now,
love to see the tongue-shaped structure here in Utah. Where is that?
I don't know, man. So the rabbit hole I went down for when I saw this, I got all excited about, is in the Instagram hints, that like the official hints. There's the same song playing in the background, which
This is good. I like this.
Adagio in D minor. So when I saw that, and I was like, okay, the lowercase d is like a lower, like D minor.
It's a minor D.
Yeah. So what correlation does that have? I went down that rabbit hole with the composer and what movies that's in. It's from a movie called Sunshine. It's in a couple other movies as well. It's actually the Wonder Woman theme that she has when she flies for the first time. So I was trying to find connections to that. The most fascinating connection, it was actually found by someone on Reddit who found that there's a tea company called Adagio Teas, which sell a tea that's called Learn to Smell Ice Cream.
It's pretty good.
Which is
So
bizarre
all their teas
connection.
are Goonies related.
Where is Adagio? Where tea company manufactured?
In Florida.
What does that even taste like?
I don't know.
Learn to smell ice cream
Yeah.
flavored tea.
So they have a bunch of Goonie quotes as different. They have like a Goonies line of tea, which
It's a good
seems like
movie,
an
but
interesting.
as like a product. That's super confusing. What is that flavor? I don't know what that is.
I love the marketing teams. They're like, "Hey guys, we need a new flavor. We need something that grabs the demo." What are the
This
use
tea's
like?
called the Hey You Guys.
Yeah, I just think like, you know what people like? They like the Goonies. Like, let's make some tea for Goonies fans.
That is strange.
Yeah, it is fun. But so that's like a weird rabbit hole that I don't really think leads anywhere. But
hey, there's
I like
rabbits
it.
down there.
Didn't this person on Reddit post that before the weekly clue came out? So they were talking about Adagio and D minor.
maybe.
I think so, which makes me like it even more. I think it came out before.
Well, like the D also, if it's lowercase, looks like a music note.
You pointed that out
Yeah,
pretty off right away.
Yeah.
that's true.
So it looks like a quarter note.
Quarter note. Yeah,
So I don't know. Do you guys have any other questions?
it is a
ideas
quarter
about?
of $100,000.
Ooh,
The price.
That's such a good point.
Wow.
So
Do you guys have any
There's
other
yet another
ideas
coincidence.
about the little D? Hey, Chad. Now you have 2 little D
Yeah.
problems.
Didn't we already say that joke?
Yeah, but not recorded.
No.
So, yeah, back to your little D. What are your ideas?
On the little D, I don't have any ideas.
I mean, I don't know either. I think the music note, Adagio in D minor, is as good as anything that I've seen or thought of.
Okay.
So,
John Dave, if you use Adagio in D minor again, I'm gonna lose it. I mean, there's a connection there now.
You know what? I've been a little bit frustrated this hunt.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of things on social media, and it's confusing the crap out of me. So the multiple letters.
Oh yeah.
In their original that first post, like throughout the post, like whenever A's were used, they used multiple A's because of this new sponsor, Ironical. They you know what I mean? That confused me. It was like, okay, so is this a clue? Are we starting? Whereas in the past, it's been very clean, only in the emails.
Yeah.
They rarely put anything out on Instagram.
They did that with the QR code hunt where they used like sponsors' Instagram accounts.
That's true, but they always were very clear about which one it is.
That's true. Now, they have said that you need to follow First Class Fireplace and Aeronautical. They say like it's a really good idea to follow them. Obviously, they might be just promoting them in general.
I will say that I've been looking at sponsors since they started doing sponsors, like keeping an eye on their pages and stuff, and it's really just been during the QR code hunt, right? That they've included their pages or their websites.
They could first for anything.
I guess, yeah.
But it was weird. A bunch of double A's. We got double A's. We got D's. Are these battery types?
Double A's, and then
ooh,
bra sizes. Just joking.
Christian can't get away from the anatomy sizes.
Is single D a bra size?
Probably.
Okay.
Is that
listeners chime in? Let us know. You said you wanted us to be less Mormon, okay? I don't know what to tell you.
Then the additional, the other thing that is a little confusing, if Adagio in D minor means something, he's now putting clues in their songs on posts.
They are the songs of ones that say official hint.
Say official hint. That's true.
They're not just throwing it out there on just like random things. And I think they're really clear on everything on Instagram because people read into way too much stuff. Like it'll be like Flipping Friday and John's like a post and they're like, why is he doing a bathroom? Why are they like redoing the backsplash? Yeah. What does that have to do with lobsters? Lobster splash. They have backs. You know, like I think he's really, really clear on being like always labeling official hints.
That was actually a pretty good line of reasoning from backsplash.
That's because that was me who thought about that. Whoever thought about the backsplash. Okay.
So speaking of lobsters.
Yeah, that's the next line.
Lobsters or locusts? That was something that.
So what are the odds?
Probably the most common question we got.
What are the odds on? I think lobster's the favorite.
Yeah.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Even with the Utah history,
because I like lobsters. I like lobsters more.
That's a good point. So it's probably the
lobster's my favorite.
I bet it's locusts.
Ooh,
should we do our bets on?
Do you guys want to do our bets right now about if it's going to be lobster or locust? 50-50.
I don't want to take a 50-50 bet, though.
Yeah,
that's so scary.
Because the punishment for our bets are going to be intense.
Yeah, unless you made my bet or my punishment a little bit softer.
Let's we're going back to the little D thing again, huh? Just joking. Cut it. Okay, so let's circle back to the punishments at the end. Because I really want to think about I want to give that a lot of attention. All right. But the lobsters. Locust or lobster, obviously, we don't really know. I bet that's the next hint. I bet the next hint's going to be like, it's lobster. And we're like, great.
Well,
you think?
Do you think they know? They knew?
I bet they know, yeah.
I don't know. In my mind.
They knew that it meant both things? Or what? What's the question?
I kind of doubt that that was intentional.
Oh, really?
Locusts and lobsters.
Like,
I bet they were like, okay, this trail kind of looks like a locust or lobster. And they went to write it, and they translated it to Spanish, and that was it. I mean, I didn't know. I don't think very many people knew that those both meant the same thing.
Here's something I'll say. If I asked you to draw a lobster on the whiteboard, you'd be able to do it. If I asked you to draw a locust, you'd have no idea what to do. So like the outline or shape
I'd be giving it wings.
of a lobster is a lot more like definitive and known than locust. So if we're talking about something that's lobster shaped, I think it's more likely to be a lobster.
That's true. Someone did send us a picture of a shrimp, however, and said it was a lobster. So I don't know that it's as well known as you think it is.
Is that Common Core now? Did they go over lobsters?
That's pretty funny.
So
She was very intelligent. I don't.
No,
she
I
had
know,
a
I
really
know.
cool solve.
No, it was cool, but it's just funny.
So one thing you can say, like you referenced, like locust being a part of Utah history with the Seagulls saving those people that traveled from the pioneers from the locust infestation. So that has more of a connection.
The non-denominational pioneers.
Yes. And then also John the Baptist is the only other person that I know of has connected to locust, that he chilled in the desert and ate locust and honey. So I don't know. There's a connection to that. If we're looking for a he, maybe it was John the Baptist.
How old was he?
when he arrived?
Oh, like when he arrived, what does that mean? Like when he arrived, like yo, I'm John the Baptist. like when they start talking about him. And even when they start talking, had he actually arrived yet? I don't think he had arrived until he actually baptized.
I'm not gonna
Because
lie.
that was
That's
like,
true.
I think there was like
He was
people-
just John before that.
there was like some press that being like, "This is John's coming out moment. He's arrived."
I'm getting some pretty Mormon vibes from you right now. You're talking a lot about religion.
Okay. So yeah, I don't have nothing else. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, are those all the?
That
Well,
was for the.
I have lobster fork. So there's a specific type of fork you eat lobster with, which is a lobster fork, which kind of has like a weird looking shape. I've never eaten lobster with it. I think
What
only
is the shape?
it's like a prong. It's prong like.
Oh,
Are
like
there
a fork?
4 prongs?
Uh,
I think it's just.
There's like a handle at the end, right?
it's sharp. It's not curved at the end. They're prongy. It's a prong. There's like 2 little prongs.
Hmm.
So maybe something like in every past poem hunt, there's been something that referenced like the shape of the trail. There was the birds,
That's
2
true.
birds feeding, which was like 2 trails. The trail looked like 2 birds. There was
that
the
the
upside
last one?
down like church, the steeple of the upside down church
Mm.
they
was
do
the
do
shape
that.
of the trail. So maybe this is something related to the trail shape.
Yeah, and people
I
were
like
mad
that.
about the upside down church. Like that's one. If I had heard that as a suggestion of a solve right now, I would hate that. I would be like, no, that's dumb. Let's move on. It's not. It's just a V.
See, I thought the yeah.
Okay.
I thought the 2 birds feed was actually pretty good. Like when I saw
That
the
one
trail,
was
and I'm
really
like,
good.
yeah, that's pretty good.
I actually like that a lot.
And it was kind of a unique enough shape. Yeah. So that's really all I got. I mean, one thing that I will say is maybe the 2 question statements, the learn to smell ice cream and the lobsters in the
Eating
past, could be like 2 different trails that you have the option of taking.
That
So-
lead to the same place.
Yeah.
Like you could take the trail that was fork related or crab related, and then the one that is
What lines are these? What
Ooh,
lines are
that's
the
cool.
questions?
I like
5
that.
and 6?
It's
Yeah,
1,
5, 6.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 and 6.
I like that. I do.
That's good.
That is a good one.
Okay, what's the next line?
Okay, where you or when you turn to view the sunrise, follow straight. You can do it.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
mean,
the numbers.
I don't have anything for those 2 lines other than like, oh, nice. They say sunrise, so we can infer that's in the morning. I mean, one thing you could say is maybe
Or it's like gives you a good vista to the east or something.
exactly.
I think it's probably just significant of east, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it could be at this point where you're, like you couldn't see the sunrise, like you were blocked, but maybe you enter an opening now you can actually see the sun again.
Yeah, that's true. And then look at the numbers as if you were a crow or raven.
Well, you've gone past. We were only supposed to do the next set of.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Jumped the gun.
You
But
can
yeah.
do it.
But yeah,
Are we
That-
going? We're not
we're gonna
finishing?
do all of it.
Yeah. Chad, suck it up.
I mean, all right.
Okay, look at the numbers as if you were a bird or raven, crow. The age when he arrived is what you observe. Are we
I have stuff.
Anything
for this.
significant for this? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot. I mean, we can keep talking, but
Let's
I have
go.
stuff.
Let's do it.
Okay, so look at the numbers like you're a crow or raven. Are you team crow or team raven?
I'm Team Raven all the way. Raven Simone.
I was team raven, but then like they wronged me, and then I was like, nevermore.
Oh my gosh. You gotta love a good Edgar Allan Poe joke.
Did you get that, Chad? That was pretty
I
good.
didn't get it.
Oh,
That was
Okay.
good.
Get that.
Yeah. I could tell by your telltale heart that you weren't into it.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got a few options. Raven, crow, lobster, locust.
Binocular vision. Ravens or crows, I forget which one, have binocular vision, which is a very specific type of vision for birds, which is like their range of sight. I think it's like 60 degrees with a kind of blind spot in the back. So I don't know how you could look at numbers.
So they have a 300 degree, like they can look or
No, because there's like, I don't know why they say 60 degree, because it's almost they can see all the way around themselves, but there is a blind spot in the back they cannot see.
So there's a 60 degree blind spot behind them or
Maybe
something?
that's what I'm trying to
So
say.
they can view 300 degrees
Yeah,
around.
that sounds more right.
That's pretty cool. So
So we
what does
need to
that
be
mean?
able to see 180
At this point,
degrees around.
If you happen to be surrounded by numbers, you're not going to look at all of them. Some of them you're going to look at, others you're going to look at them like a crow.
happen to be surrounded by numbers.
well, there's also like as a crow flies, so maybe the distance on the trail is longer, but as the crow flies, it's short, and so you look at that number, like the distance from
Yeah.
point A to point B is what's significant, not the distance along the trail.
Yeah. Or like on that note, you could look at like a bird's eye view of this area, like on a map, and find numbers maybe related to a trail or elevation. That could be something that you're looking at.
Yeah. That's good.
That's all I really have for the numbers. But on the note of the numbers, they're saying the number is being the age when he arrived is what you will observe.
Oh, that's what the numbers are?
Yeah.
The age when he arrived is what you observe, or what I observe.
I mean, I imagine those are connected. What do you think?
I mean, yeah.
Look at the
Probably.
numbers like you're a raven. The age when he arrived is what I observe. Just because the age being a
numbers
number.
and age. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure connected. Right?
So who is he?
I have a lot of options.
Okay,
you
let's
guys
hear
ready?
'em.
Okay.
there's
so-
a band called He Is We.
Oh, that's a really good. They're actually pretty good. Wait, is that the chick from New Girls band?
What?
What is that band's name?
Chick from New Girl, Jess?
Zoe
Yeah.
Chanel.
No, I don't think that's
Okay.
anyone.
What is that band name? It's
We'll
get there. We'll find it.
If any of our listeners can chime in and let us know. We refuse to Google things. We want our listeners to tell us basic answers to things you can Google.
She and him.
She and him. Oh, yeah.
Close.
I can't believe how I got there. So first off, what I want to say is I sort of feel like at the beginning where it says find the place that it's named after, I feel like that's a relationship to this thing. Because if they're going to bring a he into this poem at this point, that means earlier in the poem that he would have needed to be referenced, in my opinion.
Oh, so you think that this he is like the theme of the poem, and we're
Maybe not the
circling
theme,
back.
but like it says that earlier in the poem there's a shortcut and there's something that's named after that.
Yeah.
Like,
So it
shortcut.
could be this Hastings guy or the whatever
Exactly.
whatever else you said. Yeah.
So if you could find like a shortcut that was named after a person and
Then
that happened to be a
that's
he,
the guy whose age we're trying to find.
and if you find that when he arrived, like Hastings arrived when he was 34 years old to Utah.
Okay.
So if you're looking for the number 34, that's an option for you. Can I
Cool.
go through a bunch of other guys?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So first off, this has been pointed out, but it's pretty cool. A famous quote by Herman Cortez. How was that? Was it good? Hernan.
Hernan.
There it is. There it goes.
Hernan.
I was thinking German. Hernan Cortez.
How cooked right?
He said, "We Spaniards know a sickness of the heart that only gold can cure."
Ooh.
Sounds very similar to that first line. What does the first line say again, Caden?
If
If
you
you
suffer from
a
pain, that gold can cure.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very similar.
Very
right?
similar.
So it's a quote from Herman Cortez.
Who's a Spaniard?
I'm just going to go with Cortez from now on. Who's a Spaniard, probably one of the most famous treasure hunters there are, going after Montezuma's treasure. And when he arrived is a very specific time because people thought he was Quetzalcoatl.
That was actually pretty close.
Was it really?
That was
I mean, it's not far.
Oh, it felt
just
so
from
bad
being
saying
off
that.
the cuff.
Okay.
So
when
how
he-
old was Cortez?
When he arrived in the Americas was 34 years old.
Same, wasn't that the same age as someone
Yeah,
you
I
just said?
misread that. Hastings was 25 or 26.
Okay.
Hastings was 25
Yeah.
and Cortez was
Yeah,
34.
we don't know if he arrived before or after his birthday.
Man.
So, but Cortez was just after his birthday. He was 34.
So he could have been 33?
No, because he arrived just after his birthday.
Okay. Of those
But
two,
you said we
I
don't
like
know.
Cortez more.
I like it because it's connected to the first line.
I
And
like
when
Cort-
he arrived is a very specific, like,
That's like a very significant historical event.
And I feel like I would feel pretty flattered if they put Cortez in this poem because we just did the Montezuma's Treasure podcast.
that's a
That's
very
true.
good point.
I would be pretty flattered.
If anyone's wondering, we have a side piece podcast called the Lost Treasure series where we explore different lost treasures. And we did one. The first season was on Montezuma's
treasure.
treasure.
Montezuma's revenge.
I was about to say that.
So
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. Actually.
Maybe David was listening. He's like, this is a good idea. This is
Okay, I
Maybe.
like this.
okay. Other
Cortez
people of significance. Brigham Young was a guy, and he was 46 when he arrived at the Valley. Fathers Dominguez and Escalante. So there's once again another reference to Escalante. There's the Escalante Cross down in Spanish Fork. They were explorers. I think their shortcut and their paths they discovered were mostly in southern Utah, but some connections. Jim Bridger, a very famous mountain man, when he arrived in
Bridge.
Utah. Yes, Bridge. Oh,
Shortcut.
wait, for which he's named.
no.
Oh my
Wait
gosh.
a second.
Oh.
No. Wait. Let's think through this.
No. Yeah, Caden, go.
Read it, Caden.
Read what?
The first lines.
The first few lines.
If you suffer the pain that only gold can cure,
Cortez.
look for the shortcut where the choir sings.
Jim Bridger.
Jim Bridger.
Find the place for which it's named.
Bridges are named after Jim Bridger. He invented the bridge.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Turn around and follow the shadow. Where did you learn to smell
It's
ice cream?
It's clever, but it also
I'm trying
just
to
doesn't
translate
make sense.
this on the fly. Do you guys have like an English?
No, you're doing a great
version?
job.
No,
We're mostly interested in those first couple lines.
Yeah, you're done.
Okay.
Hey,
You-
the place
you
that's
know.
after his name, Jim Bridger, found shortcuts. Shortcuts a bridge.
Was his dad a bridge maker? I
don't like
I
this.
don't hate it. It's not the farthest leap we've made
I
tonight.
kind of hate it. But Jim Bridger is very important to Utah history, and there's a lot of trails named after him, and he was 20 when he visited Utah for the first time. Jedediah Smith, another mountain man, also found a lot of treasures and passes in Utah, 27 years old. Mark Twain has nothing related to like finding trails or anything like that, but a very significant literary figure who visited Utah famously when he was 25 years old.
But it has nothing to do with shortcuts at all.
I don't know. I mean,
Because we could just start listing famous people who've been to Utah and at what age they were when
Catherine
they've been. Katherine Heigl. She was 0. She was born
I
here.
don't know. It's got to be a he. And
Has
he kinda
Justin Timberlake
famously-
ever come to Utah?
Maybe.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of famous people that have come here.
He's
Yeah,
doing
it
a bit. He might go to rehab in Utah. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's right.
It's true. Paris Hilton. She was 20.
Oh.
Paris Hilton. She's a girl though. We gotta. They made that distinction.
I'll tell you right now, Justin Timberlake needs to get off the back streets, get his life together.
Get his life in sync.
NSYNC. NSYNC. Come on.
I forgot he was in.
Yeah, he was in sync.
Okay. All right. Langsford Hastings, we've already talked about Hastings Pass. That's probably the one I like the most, 25 or 26 when he's visited Utah. John Fremont.
But no one knows Hastings. That's like a huge stretch.
It's kind of a huge stretch, but nowhere it says this guy has to be famous.
Yeah.
It just has to be someone that the shortcut was named after, or the
That's
place
true.
where the choir
That's
sings
true.
was named after.
That's true.
Okay,
I would
that's
almost prefer that it's someone that you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
If anyone's interested in looking into it, there's a plaque about John Hastings on
In
Big
Spanish
Mountain
Fork?
Pass. That's right in the heartland.
You go look into it because we aren't.
It's a
We don't like it enough to actually
it's a
sweat.
7-mile hike. Send us a picture. John C. Fremont, very much connected Utah history, explorer, 30 years old. That's all I have for he's and ages. Also, age doesn't have to be like an actual number age. It could be the age, like the Gilded Age or the Age of Renaissance or things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
The age at which he
But then he arrived. That's just, yeah. It's
arrived in the Gilded Age.
I'm here.
John the
Michelangelo is.
I don't
Yeah. I
don't know about that one.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it's
a good
worth
point.
mentioning. Thank you
it
for
is worth
bringing it up.
mentioning, yeah.
You guys are so nice to me. In the back of your heads, you're like, this is such a dumb idea. But
It's
yeah,
good
good
to
job,
know
man.
you.
Keep them coming.
Okay, but now you're close. One last step. Move yourself to the place with the best view.
To me, it's probably just wherever you're at, go find the highest place
Yeah.
with the best view.
Because it's 30, what they say, 30 to 50 feet off the trail.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think the trail would have the best view. Like somewhere on the trail, right? But maybe
not.
Maybe not.
Well, they said it's like 30 to 50 feet off the trail.
What's kind of tricky about this is they're like really focused on safety, right?
Yeah.
And somewhere where their best view is, that's off the trail, seems like you're gonna like.
Sounds like it's going to be next to a cliff.
Yeah, seems kind of dangerous.
Yeah, that's true.
Christian, do you remember? Wait, last year when we were out looking,
I was ready
and
to.
they were so concerned.
He was
with
risking
safety.
it all.
He was like, "Your kid could find it, whatever." Blah blah blah. Christian was like scaling a mountain.
I was
Christian, what are you doing?
I was rappelling without ropes.
You just tripped, standing still earlier. Now you're free soloing over there.
I wanted to be a hero, man.
Yeah, it would have been cool if you just reached into an eagle's nest and just pulled out a treasure chest. Anyways,
That was actually really fun. We had to hike again. That was some good. Remember
That
how
was
we
fun.
we're desperate for the people on the trail who were treasure hunting to
We-
recognize us.
you were desperate. You're like, hey, you guys,
Do you guys like treasure hunting? Do you guys like
You guys listen to
podcasts?
podcasts?
you guys know of any podcasts that specialize in Utah treasure
Just
hunts?
fishing
No,
for a
this
listener.
is so dumb. I feel so dumb. I was kind of doing it tongue in cheek, but I
Yeah.
feel really ashamed of it now.
It was really funny, actually.
We did get found. So we did get recognized at one point, which was nice.
It was cool.
So,
Well,
So that's it. We finished it.
that's it.
should we go to the questions now?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of the questions were related to what we were like clues and things. So if we've already discussed it, we'll skip them
I'll
over.
just skip it. All right. Yeah, here's the one you referenced earlier. How much physical treasure hunting have each of you done so far?
0.
0 is the
0.
answer.
We each of us have done absolutely nothing.
This poem, and we're going to.
This
We're going to
poem.
get out.
We'll get out.
We're par for the course, though. Like we usually take 3 weeks to do it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we don't want to.
All right, Aaron.
I don't know.
Aaron Tallman said, "Have you considered Bell's Canyon? The trail looks like a bird."
So
What does that have to do with? What does birds have to do?
Raven.
seagulls and locusts. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm wondering if
I don't like
if
that
they're
either.
thinking like singing, choir singing, or like birds sing. I don't really like it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Or bells like chiming as singing. Not my favorite. Just being
I
frank.
mean that's better than the trail. Kind of looks like a bird. I like the bell
The bell choir.
having to do with choir more
Yeah.
tan that.
Yeah, because there was a bell
But,
choir.
I mean, I
That's
think
a
it's
good point.
possible,
That's a good
but I
point.
mean, I will say it's just as possible as every other solve someone sends us, and we get quite a few.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But keep them coming.
Bry Hearts, yeah, keep them coming.
Because one of them is going to be so good that we're actually going to go treasure hunting.
we're gonna be like,
Just
"Oh."
joking.
So we're gonna say, you know what? I really don't like this one. It's not good, and then we'll go.
Yep.
Yeah. Bry Hearts, them lines be spicy.
Oh,
Thanks.
I'm getting too far into this where I'm starting to overthink people's comments. We're like, is he trying to send us a message? They're spicy. Like, is there something with peppers? Poblano peppers or Spanish? Like, I don't know.
All right. Also, Bry Hearts, what's the best part about the poem?
Do you think he means his lines are spicy or like these
I
are some
think
sexy
he is
lines?
a she.
Or she's like, these are some sexy lines. Like,
Actually,
Probably
I think
that's probably what
he's
she
a he.
means.
oh,
Anyways,
go straight. You can do it.
what's the best part of the poem? He asks.
The best part of the poem, I just said it.
Did you?
I think trying to
Go
find out who the
straight,
he
you
is
can do it.
is
Oh,
fun,
okay.
and also I think the ice cream and the learn to smell ice cream and lobsters in the past, just because they're so weird, are kind of fun lines.
Yeah, I think that the he is going to be fun to know. Okay, I'm done with that. Moving on. Of course, they put Spanish Fork on the boundary map. Lol, says
Chad, you forgot to stop squeaking your chair.
Oh my gosh. Amanda LaFam. Nick Stable. My solve is dead, but thanks for letting me down gently.
First of all, I hope
How
we
is
didn't
the
let
solve
you down.
dead already?
Yeah, and hopefully we wouldn't let you down.
Is
I
it
don't-
out of the
I don't know what
boundary
he's
map or
referring to. It must be the boundary map, but that wasn't us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Sorry, man.
Pajir, what do you think of the idea of the poem not leading to the treasure, but the best view of where it is? That's interesting.
Okay.
I don't like
I
that.
don't.
Well, it does say now you're close to one last clue. So
This would be breaking basically the entire structure. I mean, how they've done poems the entire time.
it all depends on the location you were at that point. Because if you're just like going to a place where you just can get up on a rock and see like a little better view of like the 100 feet around you, but the problem is it would need to be like pressed up against a shelf so that's not a 360-degree view.
Yeah, if it's a good view, then you
But if it's
you can
just
see
300
a lot,
degrees.
and it could be anywhere.
Ooh, like a raven sees.
I think it's kind of it could be like clever. You know how in a lot of like treasure hunting movies they'll be like
Clever
you have to
clues.
look through the rocks and like you get a certain angle at shut up. Shut up.
No, this is good. I totally know what you're talking about.
No, they're like you just get a certain angle and then you can see past like the peak and it lines up exactly with the lighthouse. That's where the treasure is.
You're
So a
thinking
lot
a
of
little bit like-
movies do that. I
like
don't
the
think.
Hobbit, where they have to with the thrush knocks on Durin's Day. And
What
the
are you
light.
doing with all the Hobbits references?
I'm sorry.
Who references the Hobbit?
We're sponsored by the estate of J.R.R. Tolkien. No, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
That's possible.
All right, Lexi Lawrence. Find the best view equals treasure? Question mark. Is this exactly what? Because if not, people could disregard poem and look for outlook places. So that's kind of
a good point.
It is a good point, but I mean, I don't really like it still.
I don't think it's going to be so obviously an
Too-
outlook place where it's like
Yeah.
a very common place where like, hey, this is where you stop and take a picture.
Right.
Like that, you're absolutely right. Like I don't think it's going to be so obvious that you just look for really famous or like well-known outlook places on trails, but probably just a general area and be like, oh, here there's trees in the way, and here there's like a big rock, but here there's a little clearing. I have a really good view. Okay, that's the grassy area underneath that I need to be searching.
This one isn't a question, but I'm going to read it because it makes me feel good and special. My heart beats a jig is the username. You guys are a joy to listen to, and your solves are top notch. That is all. I will say that your solves or our solves are just Christian solves.
Yeah.
Because
Christian
which are really
and
just
the,
people who message us.
Christian and the community.
Oh,
so, yeah.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for
Okay.
everyone who inspires us.
Brayley Shea, if they didn't measure it off the trail, then the poem is all we need to think? Question mark.
So this is reference to the fact they said actually the last clue we didn't mention that the treasure is 30 to 50 paces or feet off the trail.
Feet.
Feet.
They said they didn't measure exactly, but it's 30 to 50 feet off the trail.
Okay. But I don't know really what she's asking there.
Yeah, I don't think I understand it either, but I think maybe we answered it. Tony Cerrone, what time? Question mark. Will this episode come out?
Tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow afternoon at some point. Max Bowman, what line do you think is when you are on the trail? I don't know if we said this in the first episode, but
Do you love the fact that we answered
I know.
what time the podcast is going to release on our podcast?
Yeah. Right now. It's getting released right now.
You're listening to it.
It got released like an hour ago. If you're
It's so stupid.
Yeah, just
And we're live. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I'm
it's too
so
funny.
dumb. That's really funny. Anyways,
okay.
Franz in Utah. Do you? It's so funny. Do you know the famous line Hernando Cortez told Montezuma when they met?
Yeah, Chad, we said that.
Oh, that's the line. I didn't know he.
no, I don't know.
No,
If
I
that's
don't
true.
know he said that. He didn't say that to Montezuma.
Okay, just make up things. I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Make up things. All right, we'll move on. What do you guys? Yeah, where's it?
Montezuma. Cortez said something to Montezuma when they first met.
Matthew LaChapelle.
I like that
our
gold.
good
It's
buddy.
mine now. I think that's roughly what it was.
Matthew LaChapelle. Cryptid message on a poem hunt or just a deeper understanding? What? Do you get that?
No.
I don't understand that question. Cryptid message on a poem hunt. Oh, I think he's asking if like you have to do like a cipher within the poem. I think maybe that's what he's
Maybe. I
asking.
mean, yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Everything's on the table with a poem hunt.
Going back to what you were just researching. Do you know the famous line Hernando Cortez told Montezuma when they met? Did you find an answer
According
to
to Google, it says when Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés first met the Aztec Emperor Montezuma on November 8th, 1519, Cortés said, "Are you Montezuma? Are you the king? Is it true that you are the king, Montezuma?" Montezuma said, "Yes, I am Montezuma."
There's no way, dude. Is that the AI?
Yeah.
There's no way.
And then
Okay, that's
he
not
and then
real.
he said, Montezuma then stood up to welcome Cortés, bowing his
I
head
said,
and saying,
I am Montezuma.
"Our Lord, you are weary. The jury has tired you, but now you have arrived on earth. You have come to your city, Mexico. You have come here to sit on your throne, to sit under its canopy." Cortés got hooked up.
Seriously.
He had no idea what was going on. He's like, "Yep, yeah, huh? Okay."
Yep. Yep, I'll sit under the shaded canopy.
Shade.
Maybe you guys can help me with this one. Felicia Piles said, "Put salt in your water."
That's just for
it's conditioning,
yeah. It's not anything
like
clue.
Gatorade. Like when you sweat, you sweat out
Electrolytes,
salt.
just getting not dehydrated.
Oh, she's just talking about how you guys. Okay.
Yeah,
I
don't
see
put too
what
much salt in your water.
Yeah. But some.
you're like if you're going out on a hike, you're supposed to put some salt in your water.
Well, it helps a little bit because you
I thought-
sweat out salt. It helps with your hydration. But if that was the case, people would be the ocean would be like, "I don't have food, but I have plenty of water. Super hydrated. Getting that salt." Did you get that, Chad?
Sorry, I was reading.
It's okay. It wasn't
Yeah.
that funny.
Okay. Bubba Hunt said, "Meow meow."
He's done that. He's
That-
been the meow meow
we
guy.
have a comment stalker who keeps meowing at us.
I kind of like
Pro-
to think it's like meow meow. Like,
Ugh.
okay.
Go straight. You can do it.
Okay. Jerseys with a similar, also funny joke that we also can't say this time either.
Man.
Right guy 86. I believe the treasure is in Utah County, possibly close to Spanish Fork or Immigration area.
Those are
Kinda
two
just-
spots we talked about.
We did talk
Hastings
about it.
Pass, Immigration, Spanish Fork, Escalante Cross.
Sorry, I'm having to skip a lot in a row. Jackie Core, did you feel the first round of hints other than the map made everything worse? With
I
all
mean-
caps.
No, but we never expect a lot from the first round of clues.
Yeah, it's kind of just the nature of the first like probably 3 weeks, right? Just a little bit more vague.
I don't think any hints are going to be any more revealing. Like, I think they're just going to be like little
Yeah.
reveals.
So you think they're going to try to like extend this almost?
I think
like
they want a
last
month.
Summers?
I think they want a month.
They want a month. Kyle Casey, we can ask this if this happens. Kyle Casey asks, "Will you interview John or Dave for this year's treasure?"
We'd love to. Open
John?
invite.
It's
Dave?
fun every single time they come on.
It is fun. They're fun guys. John, Dave, if you've made it this far in this episode, first of all, good on you. Number 2, I do not have a receipt for your donation for alopecia. I think I should claim it on my taxes, not you. So kind of weird that you asked. And then I'm going to cut that. Man, my jokes aren't landing. I think Chad's just not listening, and so I'm only getting half a reaction.
That's 100% what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm reading. Only a couple more questions.
Okay, John, Dave, we would love for you to join our podcast. We've loved interviewing you. I think it's always been fun. It's been revealing, and it's just great to hang out with you. So let's do it.
Yeah, and if you want to bring in some extra clues for the listeners.
Oh, yeah.
And for us.
People tend to listen to those episodes.
Yeah,
that is true.
We get, instead of 12, 18 listeners. Okay, just a couple more questions left. Could a clue, this is Maria Vaught, could a clue be the name of a business? Who is he? We've talked about who is he, but a clue being the name of business. How often do we jump to name of businesses for clues? We do it quite a bit. Has it ever been?
No, we get way obsessed
never
with
been the
like
case.
urban hunts. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
this like Chili serves lobster. You know, like
Yeah.
it has never been the case.
Even the Adagio thing, I
tea
liked that, and I didn't even realize they've never done that.
No.
So probably not.
I mean, all of their clues have been, the closest thing to it is like a street name, but they've never done like a business as it like.
And just once, right? They just did a street name like once.
I think just once. Yep.
Yeah.
My
People
question-
delude themselves into thinking that it could work for them, but it might work for us.
My favorite Arrested Development quote.
My question is a treasure head by any water?
Tell you right now.
Christian said something dumb here.
What is it? Oh, ow. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Cassian Wheeler, what math do you think we need this time around? I kind of doubt.
I think that was probably tongue-in-cheek from Arc Math.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there will be math just because everyone hated it last time.
So I do think that's important to know. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, maybe this has to do with Mormon like sites," but I'm like, that's what they did last poem,
Yeah.
and I just don't think they'll double down on like or return to something. So like, I actually am kind
like
of prone
history?
to. Well, like Utah history, like with Brigham Young.
You don't think they'll do that?
I don't think they would do Brigham Young like this is the place immigration like thing,
Well,
and then the very next poem do
why not?
another thing with Brigham Young.
The response to the Utah history themes last time was huge. Like, everyone loved that part of it.
And I agree, and so that would make me more inclined to think like, oh, like the Mountain Men, like Jim Bridger Utah history, which John C. Fremont Utah history, or even because it's Spanish,
you're saying-
people who have Spanish background history
Okay,
related
yeah.
to Utah, more so than them doubling back to like Mormon related
I see what you're
history.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Yeah, I agree.
to agree with like the math, like maybe like did it last time, wasn't the biggest hit. I think they probably avoid that.
Yeah, I think they probably would too.
Do you guys think the absence of things that they've done is a clue? Like we released a map of where the treasures have been found. Do you think and there's some big gaps like between Salt Lake and Ogden and between like Pleasant Grove area and like Provo? Do you think that that is revealing to? Do you think they're looking and be like, hey, we got to throw Utah County some love. Let's put something in, or even like out like west.
I do think
like
so.
Tooele or Oka
Or
Mountain,
like Eagle
Yeah.
Mountain or
Eagle
something.
Mountain.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think that's a good basis to
I don't think. Yeah.
go hiking off of. Like, oh well, this is the biggest gap. They probably put it here.
I think it's something. I don't think it's huge. I think.
I
But
think
it's
a-
probably.
something
I
to
think
consider.
they're probably. I wonder. I would be curious. Have we ever asked them? I'm just thinking out loud here. Have we ever asked them how they find the place? Because we asked them. They found the place where they're gonna hide it, and then they wrote the poem, right?
That's what they do every year. They find the spot and they write
So
the
I
poem
think
after.
I think the spot itself is more important than the location, if that makes sense. Like the where they're hiding it is more important than the surrounding area. Like
Yeah, but they've also mentioned they like to be somewhat close to the location, which is
so
why
they can go check on it. And
yeah,
stuff?
they
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
true.
going to maybe put something on the the very outskirts. That being said, the one they hid in Ben Lomond,
Yeah, that was far.
and that's actually outside the boundary map this time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Something tells me that you're probably safest around the Wasatch Front within a 35-minute drive of Salt Lake County.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. If I were hiding it, I would want it to be somewhat accessible and close to check on it, so I didn't have to drive super far.
That being said, maybe they're getting better with the technology they have, that they don't feel like they always have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways,
Who
something
knows?
to think about. Hey, before we finish, I know this has been a long episode. I know we're tired. I want to get to our bets.
Ooh, okay.
Not in the right mindset for my bet. Unless you guys make it for me.
Oh, we were always going to do that.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, last year we did this, where we all had to make a bet of something we did or did not believe about the actual solve, and then we put these crazy bets around it that if we were wrong, then we would have to do some big challenge. Last year, Chad had to ask out any woman that we chose for him. Caden had to go mime in Salt Lake, like downtown Salt Lake, until he'd made $25. And I had to go to my old high school basketball game, sit in the student section, and paint my body with the number
Just
of
be
a
a
random
super
player.
fan of someone on the team.
And if anyone asked me why I was there, I had to say I was here for the boy, and that's all I could say. So luckily, none of us had to actually do our challenges, but we want to do it again this year. Now, one thing we could do is we could open it up to the listeners, and we could get their feedback on punishments that one of us would have to do if we don't get our guesses right. So how about we do that, Chad? Since you're not in the right mindset, we want to coddle you. We can just say, listeners, please message us on Instagram and let us know if you have clever ideas for embarrassing punishments that we'd have to do if our bets were wrong.
Yeah, I like that. Let's also get some suggestions for things that you really, really like solves that you really like, and that we could maybe hitch our wagon to for the bet.
I love this.
Okay.
If you could just tell us all of your best solves.
Well,
I thought he
no,
was
but-
about to tell a joke. He was
No,
serious.
I'm serious. If you think that it's lobsters instead of locusts, tell us why.
Well, I think
And
we should
I
do the
will-
inverse. Because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to choose. I'm going to say like, hey, mine is that it's not in Spanish fork.
It's a not. It's a negative bet.
Yeah, it's like a negative bet.
I like that better.
Rather
I don't
than
wanna
like,
do
I
a
think this is
50-50.
what it is. I think this is what it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That makes.
Well, send us
that's
your
a lot
best solves
easier.
and we'll bet against them.
We get it either way. We'll inverse it. Do you guys want to choose your thing you're going to die, the hill you're going to die on? Because mine is that the fact that it's in Spanish does not mean that it's in Spanish fork like many people believe.
Yeah, I mean,
Is the
that's
first
easy.
line a throwaway line?
Ooh, that's a good one, Chad. You want to do that?
No. 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 Because that's a 50-50. It's yes or no. Yours is a location based off of everything. That's
Yep.
the odds there are so low.
Yeah, but
Okay, so I will say that it's not south of Spanish Fork.
you're so dumb. you went all prices right on me. You just outbid me by $1.
I went Price is Right.
Spanish Fork is the very south, but you're like, it's not going to be in North Payson. No, choose a different one.
How funny would it be if it was exactly there?
I like the idea of like they're just like, screw it, go dig up the treasure, put it there, just so we can get Chad to do some embarrassing.
Yeah, I'll need to like think about this. I don't know. Because last time it was like as we went, we chose it. You know what I mean? It was like I'm choosing this as my bet.
It was the same episode. It was episode 2 that we chose the last time.
Was it all
Yep.
of us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying to think back on things, and I don't.
What about? Do you want to do the smell ice cream having to do with Goonies? Like a lighthouse,
Well, I believe that one.
but it has to do something with like a lighthouse lounge.
so then you can bet
Lighthouse
that it is.
Lounge. I'll bet against Lighthouse
Or-
Lounge.
so it has something. So if it can't have anything to do with a lighthouse.
No, I don't want to do that.
Can I bet? I don't have to bet against something, right?
I have
can
to
bet
feel
for.
good
Sure,
about it.
sure.
You can't just throw things out there and tell me to bet against it.
Is this too easy? The place for which it's named and when he arrived, those are the same person.
No, I think that's a great bet.
I'm betting that they are the same
Okay.
person.
So Caden is betting that the thing that's named after the shortcut or where the choir sings is the same thing as the he.
As the age
You're
where
doing a
he
positive
arrived.
bet?
He's doing a positive bet.
That's all right.
So my consequence
So
has to
you're
be a little
basically-
softer.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well,
Jed, your last one. Come on, give us something.
I don't know. All right, I'll do the lighthouse one.
Lighthouse? Okay,
Yeah.
so it can't have
It
anything to
is
do with the lighthouse.
Not a lighthouse.
Not like lighthouse shaped or an actual lighthouse. Or
There's no lighthouses in Utah.
there are.
Christian said something dumb here.
No, I think there actually are
right
lighthouses.
over here.
Where? Like real, like non-decorative, like a real lighthouse that warns ships of impending doom upon the shore.
I don't know. Well, listeners, let us know. I heard someone say that there was one down in Spanish Fork.
Why?
I don't know. So, but that can't be related to the lighthouse at all. Okay?
Okay.
You're on board?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, we have...
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
No,
No.
you've already chosen yours.
Yeah,
That one's
you got
easy.
yours.
No,
That's
where
fine.
he's gonna... You not gonna
Christians
believe
is
this
the
punishment.
easiest. Why aren't you complaining about Christians?
I am complaining about Christians.
It's in Spanish, dude. That's a real risk for Spanish Fork.
No, it's not.
Lobster fork, how you eat lobsters. There's all sorts of connections. Escalante cross, which I
Okay,
think is
what
really
is
worth looking
in
into,
Spanish Fork?
is in Spanish Fork. In the city limits of Spanish Fork.
It can't be city limits because
Yeah,
it's
it's
a trail. It
it's-
has to be the
the-
mountain
okay.
next to.
Okay, if where the trailhead starts is in Spanish Fork.
Within
No,
5
or
miles.
Within 5 miles of the borders of Spanish Fork, yes.
Okay.
You have me.
Yeah.
Yes.
no, I'm nervous.
Christian, going streaking.
So listeners, please give us your punishments. They cannot be felonies, but they can be misdemeanors. And we want to get your ideas and crowdsource them. And our next episode, we will reveal our punishments. And we'll see if we have to do those.
Okay, someone find the treasure before our next episode.
Yeah, please.
Okay, is that it? Anything else? Any parting thoughts?
Nope.
Okay, well, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure, and we're looking forward to getting out there on the trails with you at some point in the next few weeks once we feel good about us all, and then we'll catch you on the next one outside.